Did you guys drive a truck onto his property in order, a chipper truck onto his property?
No.
Why then, in your answer to the complaint, did you say, the plaintiff contacted me and said we parked our truck on his driveway and damaged his sidewalk and driveway? First of all, we got permission from the plaintiff to park there.
This is the plaintiff, George Atamian. He says his neighbor hired the defendant's company to trim his trees, and the unprofessional parked their heavy truck on his driveway without permission, and they damaged it. There are now unsightly cracks, and the cement is crushed. The defendant has ignored his requests for repairs. He trespassed on his property, damaged it, and today's judgment day, as he seeks the $5,234.80 he's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Stephen Schultz. He says he's been in the tree business 42 years, and he knows a shakedown when he sees one. The damage the plaintiff's complaining about is from his neighbor's huge tree and the roots that are growing under the driveway. This whole lawsuit's a bunch of malarkey, and if the plaintiff thinks he's going to pay over $5 grand for something he didn't do, he's barking up the wrong tree. He's accused of cracking up a neighbor.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Come to order, have a seat, please. Litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, Douglas. George Atamian?
Atamian, yes.
Atamian. All right, you are suing Flint Ridge Tree Care Incorporated and Stevens Tree Experts Incorporated. You're the owner of both, Mr. Schultz?
Yes.
You're suing them for $5,234.80 that you say they owe you in damages to your property. What happened?
We have a very large tree in my neighbor's yard. It's close to my property. And the tree is trimmed every 4 to 5 years. On this particular day, on March 3rd, 2017, the tree trimmers showed up at some point in the morning. Basically, at some point in the day, drove their equipment up my driveway, a large truck with a chipper, and just sunk the whole driveway. Sunk the sidewalk in, crushed it down, and continued more damage onto.
How did you notice that?
Well, when I came home at night, my wife says, "Oh, you know, the tree trimmers came."
Is your wife here?
No.
Did she take pictures?
I have tons of pictures.
No, did she take pictures at the spot of the truck at your house?
No, there were no pictures.
You went to the yard and took pictures, but.
Yes, to see what kind of truck it was.
So, did she realize? What did she say when it was there?
Well, she showed up. First, she showed up around later in the afternoon, maybe around 4:30 or so, or 5. And the truck was already in the driveway.
Did she say something to them, or didn't she?
Well, she did. She pulled up. She said, "But what's going on?" They said, "Sorry, but we'll be out of your way soon."
So just tell me then what happens. You come home and you see the condition.
So I came home. She said, "Oh, the tree trimmers are here," and of course, it's a big event for us. I ran outside to back up and look at it, and I couldn't miss the damage. Even it was getting dark. It was dark. I could still see the sidewalk completely.
Had your
crushed.
Wife missed the damage?
She didn't see it. The truck was there. There was branches all over the property. She didn't see it.
Okay. So, and what did you do?
Well, then I immediately went to contact the neighbors to find out, who the company was that you hired. My wife called. I guess there was a guy named Tim who was in charge of the tree trimming that day.
Who's Tim?
Oh, Tim is on our staff. He's arborist on our staff.
Okay. Did you guys drive a truck onto his property a chipper truck onto his property?
No.
Why then, in your answer to the complaint, Did you say, the plaintiff contacted me and said we parked our truck on his driveway and damaged his sidewalk and driveway? First of all, we got permission from the plaintiff to park there.
Well, let me clarify that for you, Your Honor. We didn't pull the truck in the driveway. We pulled the brush chipper onto the sidewalk.
Sorry, did you or didn't you bring a truck onto his property? Yes or no?
The truck, no, Your Honor.
Did you bring something else onto his property?
No, we did not bring anything on his driveway. We allowed the brush that was cantilevered over his driveway to
When you
fall
say
under the driveway.
cantilevered, what do you mean? I know what cantilevered mean, I just don't know what you mean.
I'm referring to the tree, Your Honor. The brush of the tree hung over his driveway.
Yeah, we all know that.
Okay.
So where did you put the truck? Because you said here, I got permission from the, first you had said plaintiff's neighbor. You crossed that out today and you wrote permission from the plaintiff to park there. Which plaintiff did you get permission from?
Well, apparently it's this gentleman. I can
Why apparently? Who got the permission?
Tim did from our staff.
Where's Tim today?
He's not here. He's in Pasadena.
If he's the guy who got permission and the case is about trespass, why isn't he the one who's here? Who's with you here?
This is my wife, Julie.
Okay, well, that's more fun.
No doubt.
But why are you saying over and over there's no way a truck would cause that damage? It's a bunch of malarkey. Like, if your truck wasn't even there, why are we talking about the damage your truck can cause?
Well,
Was
we
your
just-
truck on the sidewalk?
No, our truck was not on the sidewalk, Your Honor.
Where the heck was your truck?
The truck was in the street.
See, look, that's ridiculous. All right, so clearly your truck was somewhere on the property if you needed his permission. You can't have it both ways. Did you get his permission or didn't you get his permission? And why would you need his permission if you were never on his property? Which is it? According to you, this is what your wife sees. This is a size truck, because if I saw this parked in my house, you better believe there's going to be a ruckus. All right, so according to you, you have estimates on what it will cost to fix the damage. Show me the estimates. So according to you, you have estimates for, oh, this is a new one, $8,000.
Well, there were several.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, of
All right,
course.
and then $3,900, $5,500. You think that this is just an opportunistic fleecing of a deep pocket.
It's like a gypsy scam, Your Honor.
Okay, I prefer you not say that, but okay.
Yeah, and so
Why?
We went to Google Maps going back to 2014. If we look at the photograph on the top left-hand side, you can see there was a crack in the driveway. We put an underline on it there in red.
And I see a crack there. Now, how do I know when this picture was taken?
Oh, here it is, Your Honor. It's right here. Street view, September 2014, Your Honor.
Okay, and how do you explain that?
What are we looking at?
This crack. One of the cracks you're complaining about today.
Okay. I
Your Honor.
really can't see what you're pointing at.
You can't.
I have better pictures of the same
no,
thing.
you have different pictures.
No, I don't.
I want you to look at that because I see, in my eyes, I have my contacts on. I can barely make you out, and I can see the crack.
Your Honor,
So, go ahead.
I had some repair work done there.
Oh, now it's I had some repair work,
No,
not that they don't exist. All right, so go on. Do you have proof of the repair work
Yes, I do. I have a.
in between 2014 and 2018?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have an invoice.
Yeah. Why didn't you mention that before now?
Because I'm not here about that existing cracks. I'm here about new cracks. Very extensive cracks.
Okay.
The sidewalk's demolished, and I have additional photos of.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Go ahead.
Okay. This represents the sidewalk area. It shows an old concrete patch. It also reflects this asphalt patch, which is any reasonable person with just ordinary amount.
Well, I don't understand why the city. Yeah, the city wouldn't.
did that.
I'm stunned though that the city did that. I'm pretty stunned because they shouldn't do that. That's going to be a lawsuit
And then-
when someone trips. But yeah.
Here's a close-up that asphalt patch. You can tell that it's been there 5 to 15 years.
No, I can't tell that. But go on.
Anyway, so I'm going to represent that to you, Your Honor.
Yeah, but I'm not going to trust it.
Okay, well, that's up to you. You're
Okay.
the decision maker here.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Okay, so anyway, but what this indicates is that, it's an old piece of sidewalk.
This is a 2014. This is a 2014. Everything else here is 2018.
You're right. These are
Do you have-
a couple of weeks ago.
Do you have pictures?
That's not 2014. Sorry.
Yeah, it is.
That one?
You know what?
The bottom one?
I'm not going to trust
The
that.
bottom
I'm going to
one.
go. No, not the bottom one. No one
Okay.
said the bottom one.
The middle one.
It's the top right, top left.
Yes, I
Our
understand.
2014 showing cracks in the sidewalk
and I
and
accept
the
that.
driveway.
Yes.
According to you, you had that repaired. I need to see the proof of the repair, and if you have pictures of the repair, I would appreciate that too. You said, don't look at his pictures, look at mine. Mine are better. So I need to see your better pictures.
This is the repair right here.
2016. Repair of crack damaged sidewalk. Doesn't say exactly what was done, doesn't say how it was done,
I have a clear picture of the patch.
but that's not your fault, obviously.
I also have pictures of the sidewalk that apparently my neighbor wanted repaired for 15 years. This is like 1 year before my property was trespassed upon.
Why would you have a picture of a sidewalk?
It's a funny thing, and you can even match it up with this other picture. It doesn't rain often in Southern California, and a rainbow was out, and there were a bunch of peacocks running around in my yard, so I ran out to take pictures, and it just so happened I got this.
Are the peacocks in the picture?
Unfortunately not.
Is the rainbow in
Not
the
in this
picture?
one, no, it's not.
How do I know it's your sidewalk?
Because you can see it's the same sidewalk that's in here. The pictures match.
Well, let me see. That odd patch you say the city did with the asphalt.
Yes.
Is in the picture. Fire hydrant is in the picture, and the tree, which has like 2 barks, which is kind of unusual, is in the picture. According to you, when was the picture taken?
A year or so before.
Before he parked on his
Yes.
big truck on your property.
Yes.
Now, so I gotta tell you, if this is a picture a year before you got there, and he's got a receipt for 2016 repairs on the thing, how are you gonna get out of this one?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. If your tree hangs over your neighbor's property, branches, do you have to get permission from your neighbor to go on the property and cut the branches off?
If it's my tree, I should be able to cut the branches off.
What if you have to enter the other neighbor's property?
I would try to make an attempt to do it from my side and carry it.
But if you can't, can you enter, or do you have to first get permission?
I don't know that law, but
What do you say? Well, okay, what do you say?
I say you have to live beside these people permanently, so out of respect, you have to go over. And if you're entering anyone's property, you have to get permission.
Sounds good to me, going inside the courtroom.
Well, Your Honor, first of all, it shows that there's a patch in that driveway.
Absolutely, that's how I know it's the right driveway and that he's not showing me somebody else's driveway.
Which is indication that the side, that's not the driveway, that's the sidewalk, Your Honor. But
But
it's an indication.
let me tell you what's missing from this sidewalk, all these cracks that he says you did.
Okay, UPS, FedEx, all the moving vans.
You know how UPS is always parking on top of, wasn't me. Wasn't me. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's what I'm hearing. Just no matter what, wasn't me. Even though we have evidence that it's your big truck. You see the size of that truck? That truck was on their property without permission, but wasn't me. All right. Now, this is your, hold on. You also have some video that you wanted me to see that shows the condition of the sidewalk, correct?
My wife sent something, yeah.
Okay. And that video was taken on what day?
September 10th, 2016.
Which is what?
It's the wedding for my brother-in-law and
Okay.
my sister-in-law.
Looks pretty good to me. Looks pretty good to me. So you see that all these other cracks that are there now are not in that video. So apparently your smoking gun of the 2014 pictures is irrelevant because we know that in 2016, based on the date on this video and the picture, all right, is in 2016. Okay? So if we know that, then we know that something caused that damage. And the only somebody I got on that sidewalk is you. And do you have any pictures of the driveway? Let me see if that video shows the driveway not having those cracks. Were those cracks ever filled or those cracks weren't filled?
In my driveway?
Yeah, yeah.
No, they were never filled. I have pictures up close to see what they look like.
Okay.
You can see, this is an additional crack also.
Okay.
That was never in the original.
Yeah. Sure looks like it. What's your response to that? That's the 2014 picture, and this is it now, with this crack that goes on down here.
If you look at the width of this crack, Your Honor, this is all in the same contained space anyway. So if this is under dispute, it really doesn't make much difference. However, if you see how small that crack is, this photograph is smaller. So I'm not discounting that crack exists right here, but that crack existed in 2014.
Where do you see it? I'm looking at it. I can see the crack very clearly. You know how he kept saying, I don't see a crack, I can see it clearly, so
Right.
I don't see that other crack.
Well,
but
the crack is in his
how
case
is this
because
getting
it's
fixed?
misrepresenting the facts.
This is your, hold on. According to you, the repairs are being bloated beyond recognition. According to you, it should cost how much to fix all this concrete?
Less than $800, including the permits, Your Honor.
How can that be? I mean, just as shocked as I am at 8,000, I'm pretty shocked at 800 too.
Right. Well, I have two documents to represent it from licensed contractors, and I also talked to the person that supplied the one proposal there, passing a concrete, Mr. Leone, and he represented to me in my telephone conversation with him that the attainments asked him to puff up the estimate.
Oh, can you prove that?
I can represent it to you, Your
No,
Honor.
yeah. Do you understand how worthless your representations are? Because honestly, I wouldn't believe either one of you on face value. You can't just come in and just trust me. Trust me, because I'm so trustworthy. My truck wasn't parked there. No, that's not how it works. Based on my review of the evidence presented, I am finding in favor of the plaintiff in this case. I am not finding in your favor on lost wages, but you do get a reasonable cost to replace the damage that was done, plus the permitting fee. And I am assessing that to be $2,159.80. That's my verdict.
So the plaintiff gets a judgment for $2,159. Mr. Schultz, if you'll step over here, I'm interested to know what you think. You said this was a gypsy scam. You used that term. What do you mean by that?
Well, what I meant is that there wasn't any evidence that really supported the judge's ruling. I don't think she made an evidence-based conclusion because it's all based on fantasy, imagination, greed. It was like if somebody wrecks a car across, you see a car wreck across the parking lot into a parked car, and you run over there and try and shake the people down, act like it's your car. Essentially, that's what they did.
Look, I'm sorry. You have your opinions, but it's over, okay?
Yeah, well, I appreciate your sympathy. Thanks for saying you're sorry. That's a disingenuous comment,
No,
by the
no,
way.
I'm-
So don't misunderstand.
We're out of time. We're out of time. All right, Mr. Atamian, you get $2,100,
Right.
50, something like that. Anyway,
Well, I tried because, with the racist bigoted attack that he started with me. So, I'm just.
You
trying
okay
to
with the
manage.
outcome?
Yeah, I'm very
You
happy.
can get it fixed for that?
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
You'll do your best.
I'll do my best.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Very good. Okay, thank you so much. Interesting case. A lot of contentious dispute here, but in any event, Harvey, what do you think?
Well, I mean, look, this lady, I think, was right in everything she said, but there's also a law here, which is that if you enter your neighbor's property without permission, it is legally a trespass, so you shouldn't do it without permission. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Paul Mendez. He says he was driving on Halloween night last year and the impatient defendant tried to pass him. And as she was cutting him off, she misjudged the turn and sideswiped his car. She then tried to speed off. He called 911, and when she finally stopped, she got out of her car and started banging on his window violently. Her boyfriend was arrested. He comes to find out the plaintiff has no collision insurance, and he's suing her for the $2,073 he's owed. This is the defendant, Stephanie. She says the plaintiff was the one who cut her off, and back and forth they went until he hit her car. She thinks he was drunk because he was acting like a complete jerk. Bottom line, she doesn't know the plaintiff because he was the one who caused the accident. End of story. She's accused of cracking up.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant tried cutting him off, smashed into him, and took off. But the defendant says the plaintiff did the cutting off, and she thinks he was drunk. It's the case of it's all in the road rage.
Thank you, Douglas. Paul Mendez.
Yes.
You are suing Stephanie. You've asked to be referred to only by your first name for $2,073 that you say she owes you for a car crash.
That is correct.
All right. Where were you driving?
So it was in New Jersey, down in Lindentown, and I was on the South Park Avenue.
I'll tell you what, why don't you come up and show me with the cars that are there? Just pick a car to be you. Wait until you get there to start talking. Right there.
Okay. So this is South Park Avenue right here. And this is.
You don't need a pen. You need a magnetic card. Don't mess up my art.
All right.
All right. Just like orient yourself based on what's there.
So this is my vehicle right here. The defendant was directly behind me.
Right. And is there a red light?
It's a red light. Yes.
Okay, but you have not advanced fast enough when it turns green.
When it turned green, went around, went on the left-hand turn side only.
Right.
And then.
All right, so your car moving or isn't it? Because the car doesn't turn. Yes, no, okay, I need you to focus because you're taking a car and going like that, and cars don't do that. So the whole point of this exercise is for you to tell me how the accident happened. So I'm going to need you to go slower and then tell me the light changes. Are you moving?
Not yet. I'm not moving.
So you haven't moved at all?
I haven't moved
And then this car does what? Goes around you?
Goes around. Then I start moving.
Then you start moving.
And this is when the collision happened.
Because that car doesn't expect you to have moved at all? They were trying to cut in front of you?
I believe so.
Okay. Now, had you had any contact with that car before that moment?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of. Okay. So that's the first time that you noticed the car when it hits you?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and go back. Now, Stephanie, can you tell me what you say happened?
I was going straight coming up 109, and as I was driving, he kept cutting. He came out of nowhere and cut me off.
Okay.
So I went around him.
To do what?
To go to follow
cut
a
him
friend.
Off?
Yes,
Show him who's boss?
No, I was following a friend to the movies.
Okay.
And he cut me off. So what I did was went around him, and every time I would go
wait, when you say you went around him and then cut him off, right?
No.
Okay, let's phrase it a different way. You went around him and got in front of him again.
Yes.
And then what happened?
Then he tried to go around me again, like he
and
was
get in
playing
front
the
of
game.
you again.
Yes.
And did it happen? Did he get in front of you again?
Yes.
And then you went around him and tried to get in front of him again.
Because I was trying to follow a friend because he kept speeding up.
Okay, so then you went around him and tried to get in front of him again. Did you get in front of him?
No, I didn't get a chance because he sped up and then hit the side, made me hit the side of his car.
So how many times were the two of you playing Quien es más macho?
So who are the ruder drivers, men or women?
Men.
You say that angrily.
Men.
You think so? Why?
Because, well, I've been in a couple of car accidents, and it have been with men, and they had no driver's license, jumped out the car, and...
Fair point. Okay, what do you say?
Unfortunately, I think it's going to be women are the ruder drivers here.
Because?
I don't know. I've just had bad experiences with women.
Are you talking just on the road?
Just on the road.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
How many times did this happen?
Maybe like 3 times.
Okay. Why would somebody say that if it didn't happen? Because it doesn't make them look good. It's like basically they're admitting that they and you were up to no good.
I understand.
They and you were exhibiting a little road rage.
I understand.
So why would she say that if you had never cut in front, she cut in front and you cut in front? And there is no reason why she'd say that. And then my question to you is, why would you not admit it?
Your Honor, this was all in the red light. Like, we were on a red light. All the other cars are stopped. There was no way for me to go in front of her.
Are you still denying that you guys were doing this?
Yes.
Before the red light. Obviously, that's not when people are stopped. It's before you get to the red light. Are you still denying?
I don't remember ever this happening.
One
this
would
person
remember.
before.
One would remember. That's not how this stuff works. People remember. They remember because their blood pressure starts to boil, because they get angry. People remember. All right, so now when she hits you, what's your first move?
My first move is to call 911 and ask her to pull over.
Ask her to pull over?
Yes, so we could exchange insurance.
Wait. How do you ask her to, was her car stopped?
I lowered the window, and I started making a motion for
Like
her
to pull
turn.
over,
Yes,
okay.
to pull over. She was already on the left-hand turn only. So
Okay.
there was an actual gas station on that side. And I was
Okay.
pointing to pull over there so we can exchange information.
Okay.
At that moment, she got out of the car and ran towards mine and starts banging on my window.
And what happens?
Then the police arrived. They told her to get away. They told
They told
this
her to
gentleman-
get away? So the police saw her banging on your car?
Yes, they told her to get away.
Is that in a police report?
Pardon?
Is that in a police
It
report?
is not in the police report, no.
Okay, can I see the police report?
Of course.
Okay, so go on.
Okay. At that moment, the gentleman there started making threats. The
How?
officer, just saying, "Oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to beat you up." You
In
don't know
front
who
of
you're
the
messing with."
police?
In front of the police. At that moment, the police officer said if he continues with that actions, he's going to arrest him.
Did you get arrested?
Never got arrested. No, he was
You
not
got
arrested.
put in a police car?
No. Yeah, he was not arrested. He was not put in the police car. The officer said if you continue with that action, you would be. At that moment, she started telling
Did
him
the
to calm
police
down.
tell you that?
No.
Were you screaming?
Yeah. Well, I was telling the guy, like, yo, it was your fault, man. We gotta, like, do something about this. It wasn't her fault. I'm here.
How is it not your fault if you were in the left-hand turn lane and you were going around him
Because the way
again?
she was driving, I thought
Yeah,
he
but
was drunk.
how are you in the left-hand
He's
turn lane
swerving
when the
all-
hit happens? You're supposed to turn left if you're in the left-hand turn lane.
It wasn't no
I'm
stop.
sorry, I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Right. What's your answer to that?
Well, I was trying to go around because he
Yeah, I
just
know.
kept cutting me off. And
No, I get
was,
it.
Yes, I was trying to go around him. And when I made it to go around him, that's when he sped up. Like, it's like he was waiting for me to move so that he could hit the side of my car. Like, so I could hit the side of his car.
All right. But in the end, you are in a left-hand turning lane, and instead of turning left, you're trying to go around and get in front of the car there because the car's been chicken necking with you. I believe you on that. I believe you that there's this. I believe you. Right. But when you're trying to do that, you understand that you are in a left turn lane and then you're going into, so you can't do it without, you can't do it, period. You're supposed to turn left.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me see the damage to the cars. Do you have damage to your car?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all. Nothing. Not a scratch. Not a.
When the contact happens, did you feel it?
No, I didn't really
How
feel.
do you not feel it?
I
You
felt
gotta
it's like
feel
a little
steel on steel.
It was like a little bump. It wasn't.
You had to feel it though.
It wasn't a hard impact. It was.
Show me the pictures of your car. I mean, that's a hard impact that I'm looking at there. That is a hard impact. Don't tell me that's not a hard impact. That's not believable. Look at that. That's a pretty hard impact. How many estimates do you have?
2.
Let me see both estimates. What happens if I believe her when she says everybody was playing Canis Mas Macho here? What happens if I believe that? If I believe that there's this and a little bit of that, what happens?
If the accident would have occurred not in the section where it's left-hand turn only, it would have been partial fault of both parties.
You're a little too slick for my taste.
I'm sorry.
Because what he just said now is kind of true. The problem is that when the impact happens, it's only your fault. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're in the left turn only lane. But you ain't getting any diminished value because I don't feel like it.
I understand, Your Honor.
I believe that there's some culpability on your part. I think you're lying to me when you say the first time you met her was at that moment. I believe them when they say that there was this. It's just that when the impact happens, it's not his fault. He is in a straight going lane and he's allowed to go. The person who causes the impact is the person who feels like, hey, he kept cutting me off, so I was gonna cut him. You can't, not from the left turning lane. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right. My verdict is for the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,673.41.
Thank you,
Your
Your Honor.
diminished value is up to me, and I don't, under these circumstances, feel that it's justified.
I understand.
So the plaintiff prevails in this lawsuit, Mr. Stephanie. Obviously, the judge pointed out you're in the wrong here, no question about it. I had heard you were arrested, but that didn't happen, right?
No.
At all. Okay. What do you have to say?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nope.
Nope. You agree you're guilty?
No, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. You're absolutely all right. Sorry about that. You're going to have to make the payment on it. The wrong way. That way. Doors that way. All right, Mr. Mendez. You know, it's interesting you won, but the judge flat out said she doesn't believe you.
I understand. There's 2 sides to every case, and she believed their side when it came to the back and forth.
Yeah. You
Can I
claim
do?
it didn't happen?
I claim it didn't happen. I stand by it.
All right. Very good.
You do.
Well, you won anyway, so congratulations. Okay. Thank you very much. Harvey?
You know, by the way, if you start cutting people off on the road and somebody gets in a bad accident and they die, you can be prosecuted for manslaughter. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Dyshawn Douglas. He says he purchased a food truck from the defendant, but when he went to pick it up, the defendant wouldn't turn it over to him. First, he said he needed to fix the radiator and the brakes. Then he said the transmission needed repair. Every week it was something else. He finally got fed up with the defendant's runaround and told him he wanted his money back. The defendant refused, and now here they are. He's suing for $5,000, the amount owed. This is the defendant, Eddie. He says the plaintiff put down $160 on the almost $4,000 truck. And he took so long paying it off, the radiator froze up in the cold winter months. One of his workers put the wrong fluid into the transmission, so he needed to repair that too. But the plaintiff became too impatient, then started ranting and raving about his money. He's willing and able to fix the truck and complete the deal, but feels this is all an excuse because the plaintiff realized he was getting himself into something he simply couldn't afford. He's accused of trucking it up.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff bought a food truck from the defendant but wouldn't turn it over. The defendant says the plaintiff is just super impatient. It's the case of, I can't sell my grub, bub.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome in.
Deshaun Douglas?
Yes.
You are suing Eddie. You've asked us to refer to you only by the name Eddie and Eddie's business for $5,000, $3,732.63, the full cost of a food truck that you did not pay for. You paid part of it. $80 in business cards and almost $1,200 in loss of business. Okay, what happened here? He was selling a food truck. How did you meet him?
I met him through my brother.
Okay.
So my brother took me to his shop.
And what kind of, to his shop?
Yeah, he got a shop.
What kind of shop?
A car shop, like a dealer.
Okay, and he had a food truck there, but you don't operate the food truck?
No, we just were selling out in the lot.
How did you get your hands on the food truck?
I purchased it from Ohio.
Okay. So you decided you wanted to buy the food truck. What were you going to sell?
I was gonna make it to a snack truck.
What kind of snacks were you going to sell?
All type of snacks.
Were you going to cook or just?
No, just snacks.
Right. Okay.
That's why I named
I
it.
I could cook a snack. I'm just asking you.
I'm just saying.
Right. Pre-purchased stuff where you didn't have to do any cooking.
That's why I named it after our snack truck.
So you were paying. You end up in an agreement with him that you're going to buy it. Do you have a written agreement with him?
I got the receipt.
But do you have a purchase agreement? Did you give him a purchase agreement for this, sir?
Yes, I did.
Okay, can I see your copy of it if he doesn't have it?
Yes, we.
Yeah, it's the same thing. There's some extra writing on the one the defendant gave me. What is this writing here?
I thought he originally paid the balance in full, but
Well, you wrote balance paid in full.
Yeah, that was my mistake. He owed
Did you pay it in full?
Yes.
Oh, your allegation is that you paid it in full.
Yes, I gave him money.
He owed $522.
Well, you say that, but
I know.
I was under the impression that you acknowledge that you hadn't paid the full amount. You are saying you paid $3,732.63?
Yes.
You did. Show me the receipts for all of your payments. Because in your complaint, what you say is in December of 2017, I paid the defendant a total of $3,210. When I went to pick it up in December, he told me the radiator brakes and rotors were messed up.
I went back to him like 3 times.
Right. When I went back the following week, he told me the transmission was bad. It would be another week. I went back again the following week, and the truck still wasn't ready. At this point, I asked the defendant for my money back. You don't mention having paid more than $3,210.
I did get him my money. I got a receipt.
Why isn't it in your statement?
Because
okay, do you have receipts for the $3,700 and something?
Right there.
Okay, you're showing me what he gave you, which he says that he accidentally gave you saying it was paid in full when it wasn't. Why would you accidentally hand something saying paid in full if it wasn't?
I did start because he said that he was going to pay the balance in full. I put
so you gave him a receipt that said he paid the balance in full before he paid the balance in full?
That was my mistake.
Okay, well, I could hear you because I don't like how his complaint reads.
Yeah.
So I think he might be taking advantage of the situation.
But
I would hear you much better if what you had was an accurate depiction of how much was paid each and every time.
I have the date behind the amount he paid. February 3rd or something like that, I think.
What is it you're saying is owed? $522?
Correct.
You just handed me something that says balance $522. Like he had written in full And then he wrote on your copy that you handed me, balance 522. In other words, it's not just on his copy. Seems like you know you owe 522. So it sounds to me like you know you're 522 short. You're just a perjurer. That's what that sounds like.
So if somebody perjures themselves in court, do they automatically lose?
No, but they're under investigation for another crime.
Well, that's true. It could be perjury, but do they lose the case?
They should, because they should be under oath.
And what's the problem if they lie?
Then the cases should be thrown out because you don't know the truth.
Because they have no credibility going inside the courtroom.
What happens is he comes in and he says, I want the truck. And you're like, it's not ready. Then he says, I want the truck, and it's not ready. And he says, I want the truck, and it's not ready. Why isn't it ready?
Well, we had it in storage, and he took like 3 months to come finally pay off the balance.
Yeah, but that was the arrangement you had with him, apparently. Pay it little by little. So why isn't it fixed by the time he's ready?
He kept telling me he was going to come in and pay the remaining balance. We don't do any work on any kind of car or truck until...
Why not? If you're selling it. You're selling it and it's supposed to be fixed.
It's going to sit, and when his car sits, it falls apart.
Oh, not that much.
And in the
Because apparently you had to put a new transmission.
In the contract, it says...
According to you, what was wrong with the truck and you couldn't sell it to him? You had to put a new transmission.
Because it sat, and the gears seized up.
So whenever a car sits for how many months was that? 3 months?
Correct.
The transmission, that's it? That's the end of the
Well, if
transmission?
the fluids is
What
not
did your
flowing.
guys do wrong? According to your own answer to the complaint, your guys did something wrong.
They didn't do anything wrong. We brought the truck back. The only thing, the fluids might have been low.
I'm sorry.
And they didn't top off the fluid. So
My workers put the wrong transmission fluid in the food truck, which required us to replace the transmission.
Well, we didn't put the wrong fluid in there. It's just the fluid was low in it. By the time we got back to the shop...
What kind of an idiot do you think I am that I would think that in
in
3 months you need a new transmission? Why would that? That's stupid. Why are you saying that to me?
I was paying for the transmission. He wasn't going to pay anything. All he had to do was just give me a little bit of time. And then the contract says I have up to 30 days.
And you feel that you have 30 days to finish it. Why? What are you pointing
Well,
to?
it says right in the contract.
Yeah, where? Show me where, so I can read what the. Okay.
Right here.
Notice to consumer: if the vehicle is not delivered in accordance with this agreement within 30 days after the estimated delivery, and the delays are not attributable to you, you have the right to cancel the agreement and receive a full refund. Okay. So the question is, when should there be a delivery date? And what is the delivery date?
From 30 days where he paid in February, when he paid the $3,027.
When was he asked? When did you file the lawsuit?
2 weeks after.
Yeah, I think like 2 weeks after I told him.
Premature. It's also premature because I'm going to find that as a matter of fact, I am finding that you still owe 522. So you haven't even finished paying for it. What's going on with the thing right now?
I just actually sold it. I just put a transmission.
You sold it? Oh, now we got some problems. Yeah, you sold this truck. Why didn't you tell us that from the beginning?
Because
I could have short-circuited this little gem a long time ago.
Well, I did put a transmission in it. I got the transmission receipt.
I don't care. You sold it. So I was making him take the truck, and now that is not a possibility. How much did you sell it for?
I sold it for $3,700.
And you also have his 3,000 something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you think this is
I
going?
didn't want the car to sit any longer. I mean,
stop it.
He took
Sit any longer. You're talking about how premature. It hasn't even been fixed, or it hadn't been. He files a lawsuit. You go out and sell it to somebody else, so now he can't have it. I was going to tell him he had to take it, but now he doesn't. So now you get your money back. Isn't that princely? And of course you should, because you've got some big fat cash flowing out of your pockets, way more than the thing is worth, because you got paid twice. Oh my goodness. Loss of business. Why don't you take the next minute to try to persuade a person who knows you perjured yourself and tried to get the other 522? Why don't you try to persuade me of how much business you lost as a result of never finishing to pay for the truck? Go ahead.
I get him money for that truck, but the reason I say loss of business is because I had customers that wanted me to come to their shop and they deliver my goods to
So
them.
how do you come up with $1,187.37 of profit when you clearly, from your own receipt, still owed $522, so couldn't even take it yet?
He didn't even have insurance on it to be able to.
Because you never gave me the truck. You never gave me the truck. I'd have paid insurance on it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you apparently made business cards before you got the truck in your, that's kind of precipitous. Yeah. I am not going to order him to pay you for the business cards or the loss of business that you are making up. I am going to, however, order him to pay you back the amount I find you did pay according to your own paperwork, which is $3,210.63, verdict for the plaintiff.
It's all good. As long as I get my money back. It's all good.
That gentleman there is right that if you lie under oath, it's perjury, and a judge can refer that to prosecutors.
Don't text and drive. The People's Court is a Ralph Edwards Stu Willett production.